My name is William Chad Thompson. I am the just installed pastor of Selma First Christian Church. This is my wife, Charlotte Thompson, and she's actually going to start this off.
All right, so at Selma, we really try hard to contribute to our community. The most recent thing, the most consistent thing that we do, we have a food bank. We just recently did a Lenten food drive, so green beans, tomatoes, all the canned stuff, not the stuff that you got at the back of your pantry that nobody likes, but you know, the fresh stuff from the store. We had a big food drive for that. And then we're going to celebrate with a pizza party next weekend. So that's always fun. We participate in Christian Cafe, which is over at the Methodist Church. And they recently had to redo their schedule because they got more volunteers to come help. So once every 8 weeks or so, our church will go make dinner for the less fortunate of our community. It's every Wednesday. I know there's a bunch of churches, a bunch of nonprofit organizations that help with all that. My favorite part of our church is the community choir, led by the incomparable Jordan Williams. If you ever have the chance to work with him, he's probably gonna die of embarrassment that I say these things, but he is the only reason, not the only reason, but he is a very large reason of why our church is still open and how we are participating in our community with the rest of the churches. So he's the one inviting all of the other choirs to come participate with us. And he's the one who handpicks all the music and all the musicians and makes sure that we have good directors and does all that stuff. So every year we have the Easter cantata, the Christmas cantata, and what's the one in November? I don't know. There's another like holy music thing that we do. Anyway, it's fun. It's the older 17th century kind of thing. So anyway, that's my favorite part, is the community choir. And then you're on this stuff. Okay. He just made a list and he's like, here, you do this.
Yes. We also, it used to be called the Ministerial Alliance, and that's where pastors from Selma got together once a month at the hospital, and the hospital provided lunch. And we started to ask the questions of how can we work in our community to address the issues? Well, COVID hit and the Ministerial Alliance disappeared. And as COVID went away, but as we started to meet again in person, there still wasn't a presence as the pastors. Nelson, who is an amazing pastor, just retired. He started it back up and he goes, instead of calling it the Ministerial Alliance, what we need to call it is the Selma Christian Ministry Network, because we are trying to work together as pastors to network to address all these issues that we are seeing between poverty, between, rent going up, increasing tremendously in Selma. We're seeing gang violence. We had our first police officer killed in the line of duty in Selma. It has been a trying time. And so as the ministers, we are going, how can we help address these issues? And how can we work to create a space that God can work? And so that's really what's at the heart of it. Who do we say we are? Not only as disciples, but who do we say we are as Christians to address the needs that we face? We also have Selma Cares, which it's once a year. It's around Christmas time. And it's where the churches, also the food bank, donate food, but there's also gifts that are donated. And so for those who are less fortunate, they show up, they get to go through, and the school is involved in this as well, because the students volunteer to push the carts, to get the milk, the eggs, and then the fruit, and load it up for them, and then take it out to the car and load it in their vehicles. But as they're going through, if they have children, they also have the opportunity to grab a gift. And so it's just another way to address the needs. We also have, it's a long word, it's bringing broken neighborhoods back to life. We just call it BBNBTL. It's where it was actually started by our old police chief. And it's where we gather, not just as ministers, but as people from the neighborhood. How do we start addressing the needs we're seeing? And that was why it was created. And so we usually meet 3 times. It's kind of like, hey, come to the park or wherever it's located. There are different stands set up with different opportunities for people to be able to seek help that they need, whether it's help with food, whether it's help with rent, whatever it is they need, it's set up there. One of the questions we've been asking as Selma First Christian Church is, what can we do just even in our neighborhood? And so we are actually in the process of doing a block party so that we can gather our neighborhood and ask them, what is it you need? What do you need from us? How can we be of service to you? And so this is what we as the Selma First Christian Church are engaged in. How do we become Jesus' hands and feet where we are planted? Amen.